Hello, Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the damn podcast channel. Y'all, don't forget to check out the description below. It will have links to all of my channels that are available to watch. There are a couple of them, as well as to the articles that we are referencing in this video. For this channel, we do basically quicker updates. We go live, that kind of the thing over here. And so what we're doing specifically today is this isn't really going over breaking news by any means. This is more or less catching up with things that people have highly requested to get, like, hear what I had to say about it or my thoughts and opinions, that kind of a thing. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be discussing two articles, and we're going to go ahead and start right now. Okay, so the first article that we're going to be referencing is about Letecia Stauch, and how I will do this is I'm going to put the picture of the article up, let you know what we're going to be looking at. I'll read over the article, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to offer my opinions on it. Okay, so this article is from the Gazette, and it's titled Letecia Stauch Deemed Sane in Mental Health Evaluation, but Trial on Hold. This was published August 25th, 2022. Letecia Stauch, accused of taking the life of her stepson Gannon Stauch, is in court Thursday afternoon after the 4th Judicial District Court received results of her mental health evaluation earlier this month. She's been waiting trial for more than 2 years after allegedly taking the life of 11-year-old Gannon in January 2020, but delays have occurred because of the need for her to have a sanity evaluation done due to her plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Now, Judge Gregory Warner said Thursday that he had received Stauch's sanity report and wants to schedule a trial, but has received a motion by the defense for a second evaluation. Warner and the defense are raising clarification questions on the law regarding setting a trial date after a sanity evaluation is returned. Now, the defense wants Stauch to be evaluated at the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo by an out-of-state psychiatrist. The judge says he doesn't think he has an authority to ask CMHIP State Hospital to hold Stauch under the defense's conditions. DA Michael Allen says he suspects the hospital will have concerns to hold her given Stauch's numerous escape attempts. Now, while challenging the first mental health evaluation, the defense requested a hearing to see if Stauch can be evaluated by outside psychiatrists at the state hospital and if there's space for Stauch there. Now, the news hearing is scheduled for September 15th at 1:30 p.m. The judge then advised Letecia that on what was discussed today, that the court has received the findings of her first eval and that she will undergo a second eval by a defense-appointed professional because her defense is challenging the finding that she was sane during her crimes. She was ordered to appear in person Thursday. Now, also on here we can see from this tweet that is posted, the parents and other family of Gannon Stauch 11 have entered the courtroom before today's hearing, and so there is that. So now let's go on to the second article we're going to be reviewing, and this is in regards to Lori Daybell and another motion that was filed, so let's go ahead and jump into that one. Now, this next article is from East Idaho News. It's titled Lori Vallow Daybell's Attorneys Want Cameras Banned from Courtroom. This is by Nate Eaton. It was published 2:05 p.m. August 31st, 2022. And it says that Lori Daybell's attorneys want cameras banned from upcoming court hearings, claiming the media has abused their privilege to photograph and video proceedings. In a motion filed Tuesday, Jim Archibald and John Thomas referenced Daybell's recent August 16th hearing. Court TV acted as the pool camera and provided a video feed for media outlets across the country. A remote video camera was set up in the jury box with another remote camera installed in front of the defense's table. And then East Idaho News had a still photographer taking pictures from the jury box. Judge Stephen Boyce approved the camera request. Media outlets in the courtroom followed rules set out in the April 14th order governing courtroom conduct. Now, here the article quotes some of this motion that went through. Unbeknownst to defense counsel, Court TV and another media outlet set up a remote camera a few feet in front of the defendant's desk and put microphones on the defendant's desk. The defense's motion says the cameras zoomed in repeatedly on the defendant while she was listening to the arguments of counsel and while she was trying to convene with counsel. The defense argues that the zoom on Daybell's face was so close that the obvious intent of the filming was not to listen to the arguments of counsel, but to gauge every facial expression of the defendant or her lawyers. Daybell's attorneys say they are unsure if the conversations between them and their client were recorded and write that if notes had been written between them, the camera could have zoomed in, violating attorney-client privilege. A review of video from the hearing shows no confidential conversations were broadcast, and the camera never zoomed in on the notes on the defense's table. it continues from the motion. The court has the discretion to limit media activity, which only serves to sensationalize the proceedings and which converts the courtroom into a circus, the motion says. Defense counsel would ask that since media has abused their privilege to photograph and record the proceedings in a fair and reasonable manner, that cameras be banned from the courtroom. Alternatively, still cameras photos with no zoom features from the jury box or from the front row of the spectator section may be acceptable. Archibald and Thomas asked Boyce to hold a hearing to discuss the request. Now, the article continues to talk about earlier motions similar to this one that were filed but did not go through successfully, and that a hearing has not been set currently. Now, this article, of course, is a little bit old at this time. So let's go ahead and get into the portion of the video where I give my opinions on this, and we'll talk with the most recent article. So again, Lori Daybell, I mean, come on. If we watch the hearing, she laughed her way through this. She looked inappropriate with her ridiculous hairstyle. She was wearing, not by accident, I do not think, her little hairband on her wedding ring finger. Giggling, laughing, smirking. Very typical Lori Daybell behavior at this point. Now, the argument that the defense is bringing up, I could buy on a normal basis. No, I do not think cameras need to be so close that they could potentially get notes being taken or hear, client attorney privilege stuff. Absolutely not. I don't care who it is. That can mess up the trial. The fact that they're saying, look, we went back through this, nothing was ever in harm's way, the notes and all this kind of stuff. Okay, got it. This is how the outcome of it that I should think go. My personal opinion, again, if you follow me, I'm not a lawyer. Number one, talk to your client and tell her not to make a spectacle out of her own self with her own behavior, right? This is a very serious crime. She probably shouldn't be in there laughing and smirking and joking. Let's start there, okay? Secondly, sure, find a common ground place that everybody can say, we are okay with putting these cameras here, because they're not gonna not let the cameras in there, right? And where is a place that we can put this so that we don't have to waste the court and taxpayers' money with coming back with these silly things, because at the end of the day, what's happened is Lori has gone in there and made an idiot out of herself by laughing and joking and doing all this stuff, and they're trying to sit here and gaslight the situation. And again, I can understand wanting to protect potential things like, well, what if, a note could be seen and all that. I get that, but that's not the case here. This is someone with extreme inappropriate behavior. And so I think that we need to reel in her behavior first to reflect the seriousness of the case, and then just come up with a happy medium to where everyone's going to be like, okay, cool, yeah, we can put the cameras here, let's move along. The cameras are allowed in, so just deal with it, basically. Now, let's move on to Crazy Land Part 2, Letecia Stauch. My God. I mean, it's another one. I don't know what these two women are able to sit here and just continually get this stuff pushed off. I mean, obviously COVID, all this stuff. Very interesting that, first of all, so we've learned, yes, she was found sane. We already knew that, right? We didn't need a 4-year degree to tell you that. Okay. I mean, and I hate to sound like that, but evil is evil, okay? But it's just like, oh my God, now they have to do another one, And again, I get it with the hospitals and stuff not wanting to possibly house her. She's a loose cannon on multiple ways, right? I mean, she is an escapee threat or whatever you call that, like potential, whatever, right? I mean, 100%, so I get that. It just blows my mind how long this takes. But again, she's another one that I'm like, whatever we need to do to clear the way to underneath the jail or to fire old Sparky up so that there's just one clear path to whichever one needs to happen, I'm all for it. My heart aches for the family members having to get drug into court over the situations with each of these cases, right? And especially when they show up and, Lori's laughing, Letecia doesn't want to show up. It's absurd, and it's a spit in the face to the families and the victims, and it's honestly disgusting. And that being said, there's so many cases out there these days, and not just these days, in the past too, that are absolutely insane. So make sure you subscribe, watch, follow, because we review those here, and if you want to see one especially crazy, check out this next video.